Hello my dear friends, my name is Sanne and welcome back to another beauty video. And today I have another 3 looks 1 palette for you, which I'm excited about. You know, I love doing these, I love sitting down and playing with a makeup palette and seeing everything it can do. So let's quickly get into it. Today I'm gonna be trying out and reviewing the Essence Benvenuti Roma eyeshadow palette. I'm sorry if I absolutely butchered that name, but this little thing. This is one of the new palettes in Essence's new destination range. They used to do this before as well. They had this big destination range with city themed palettes, but I must say the old ones were a bit boring in my opinion. And now there's a new series and they just released 2 new ones, the Rome one and the Miami one. And I must say, these look so much better and so much more fun than the old ones. So, maybe not packaging wise. I feel like packaging wise we've gone a bit cheaper. Because, you know, it looks like someone just stuck some Getty images on here. I don't know, it's not my favorite. And I think the older packaging looked a bit more sophisticated. But at least we have many more shades and much more interesting shades in these palettes. So that's what I'm mostly happy about. Just a little disclaimer, I received this palette in a giveaway, so I didn't buy it myself. The video is also not sponsored and this isn't PR, I just happened to win a giveaway which included this palette, so just so you know. But the palette, like I said, is one of the destination palettes. It comes in this decent cardboard packaging. The outside of the packaging is cardboard, but this where the pans are in, this is plastic, which I find a bit confusing because I felt like Essence was doing a lot to like make more recyclable packaging and such, and I feel like this 2 different things. They could have just made the entire thing cardboard, I feel like. The inside features 12 shades. I must confess, there is something wrong with my palette. I didn't notice it. Like, I have taken pictures of this, I have done swatches with this, I have already done 1 look with this, and somehow I didn't notice that there was something wrong with this palette. I was really confused while swatching it why they would put 2 almost identical shimmer shades next to each other. I was like, that's so redundant and unnecessary. Why would they do that? Turns out they don't do that. This one is just wrong. It has 2 of the same shimmers right here next to each other, while this one is supposed to be an orange matte. Just so you know, this palette isn't like entirely the same as the regular palettes, so maybe take this review for granted. Well, like 90% of the shades are the same, so I think I can give a decent review. I just can't review the matte orange shade. As you can see, this palette features mostly neutral shades. It has a little pop of green, as you can see, which is just adds a little bit interest to the palette. These shades are more of like corally pink, and then we have some more orange toned neutrals and then the greens. I think it's a decent range of shades. I do feel like it is very light. The only deep shade in here is this one. And since I've tried the palette once already, I know this isn't like the absolute best deep matte shade. We're gonna try it out and see how all of the other shades work on the eyes and if they really should have been deeper or not. I have already swatched all 12 shades that I have here, which are actually 11 shades, so I'll put all the swatches on the screen right now so you can take a little look at it. This palette retails for €7 approximately, which isn't that expensive, especially for 12 shades. But we're gonna see if it's actually worth the €7. So let's quickly get into look number 1. Let me just quickly prime my eyes. Today I'm using the Makeup Academy eyeshadow primer, which I've been using quite a lot recently. It's a nice, decent primer. I don't love it that much, but you know, it's decent, and I really want to finish this one, so. Okay, so for this first look, I'm first gonna go into these interesting green shades because I just want to try them out, see if they work or not. I'm first gonna go into this shade, which has the cute little olive branch in it. These shades don't have names, they only have numbers. They're also mentioned on the back of the palette, so I'm gonna name them by the numbers as well. So this is shade 11 that we're going into. And I'm just gonna grab a fluffy pencil brush and just stamping that into my inner and outer corner. which right now this layering gives me quite a lot of pigment, as you can see. But the big question of course is if it will stay and if it will properly blend or not. Then I'm gonna go into shade 10, the nice light blue shade. And I'm grabbing a bit more of a fluffy brush. Oh gosh, this brush is barely picking up anything. Okay, and we'll just drag that into the edge of that green. And we're gonna see if we can blend it a bit using the lighter blue shade. But I feel like I'm not gonna like this shade at all. I feel like it doesn't blend out the dark green, it just covers up the dark green. It just sticks on top of it and it doesn't do anything else, I feel like. And I really have to swirl my brush in there. Like, this matte shade is densely packed into that pan. I really have to swirl my brush in there to get a nice amount of pigment from it. Like with that deep one, I just have to tap into it and then it's on my brush. But with this one, I really have to like this. And then I just have like a tiny bit on my brush. It's weird. And then I'm just gonna go back into that deep green, number 11. Just to blend out those edges a bit more. I also feel like the shades don't really work well together, like color-wise. They're fine together, but it's not like really nice because the green is like an actual green and the teal is like an actual blue. But this green underneath my eye as well. A tiny bit of the dark green in the inner and outer corner. And then blend that out again using the blue shade. This is what it looks like. It's looking... It's not that patchy, but you can tell that it's not really extremely even. And it took me a while to get to this point that I'm like, it's decent enough to move on, you know? I don't know, these aren't my favorite shades in the palette, I think. At least at this point they aren't. I'm hoping the other shades will be better. Let's get on to the next shade and I'm going into this interesting one over here, which is shade number 6. It's a bit like of a gold shade but with a bit of a green undertone. And I was hoping the blue would have been a bit more greenish because then this look would be green with gold. Green with gold is such a good combo. But now I have green and blue with gold, so we're going more cool toned but then adding a warm toned shimmer. And that's a bit like clashy. And this is a nice shimmer. You can tell that that built up quite easily actually. Like just a single stroke and it's there. But yeah, it's mainly looking gold. It doesn't have like any type of green in it that you would expect of it from looking at it in the pan, which is a bit more of an olive tone. And of course we're applying the same shade underneath the eye. And I will just go in with some of those greens again, just to blend out this edge of the shimmer a bit so we don't really have like a harsh line. And now we're going into shade 9, which is this one. It's also a gold shimmer, but just a bit lighter. And I'm gonna put that in the inner corner. It's also more of like a shimmer, a sheen, than a sparkly shade. Like the other shade that I'm using is like an actually sparkly shimmer, which I love. I love sparkly golds. But this one is a bit more like shimmery or sheeny instead of sparkling. And I think that's it for look number 1. Let me just go ahead and add everything that I want to add to this look and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, I am back with the finished look. I must say that sparkle is so nice, especially in like the setting sun, like golden hour. Those sparkles were so good. So like I'm loving this shimmer. This shimmer is real good. I must say, like in the end, I really love how this look turned out. I think it's really pretty. It looks so nice. The only thing that I have to say about it is that it just took me a long time to get it to this point where it wasn't patchy and the light blue was blending properly, but it looks pretty good. So what I added to finish up the look, I'm wearing the Root Cosmetics Neko-chan lashes. And then on the lips, it's the Essence Soft and Precise Lip Pencil in 26 Daring. And the Root Cosmetics Lip Balm in Blush. So let's quickly get on to look number 2. Okay, so I'm just gonna get started with priming my eyes, of course. Still using the same Makeup Academy primer. And I'm just gonna grab a fluffy pencil brush. And I'm first going into this pale shade. This almost white beige shade, shade number 3. This of course is a matte, and I'm gonna be blending that in the inner corner, but also going on top of the lid. And as you can see, it's like slightly lighter than my skin tone. For me, using white would have been more fun with this makeup look. But if you're just a little bit less pale than I am, this is probably gonna look very fun on your skin tone. So now we'll go into this shade number 8, which is like a nice matte brown. But browns are a bit more warm toned than this palette, which I'm not too mad about. And I'm just gonna be blending that into the crease right next to that beige that we just used. And I'm also partially gonna go onto the lid. And that applies quite easily, if you ask me. But I do feel like, again, this one is a bit hard pressed into the pan, so you do have to swirl around into the pan quite a bit to get some pigment going. And then I'm gonna go into the shimmers. I'm not done with the matte yet, just so you know. I'm gonna add a bit more, but for now I just wanna go into the shimmers a bit. So I'm going into shade 9 first, which is this one, which we have used yesterday as an inner corner. But right now I'm just gonna be applying that right here, a bit on the center of the lid. And I'm keeping it low, like I'm not gonna go on like the entire surface of the lid, because I wanna keep that blend on top looking the same, you know? And then I'm gonna go into shade number 5. Which is a bit of a deeper orange gold. And I'm just applying that one right next to it. And now I'm gonna go into this deep brown, and I'm gonna use this on its own. And I'm gonna grab a very small angled eyeliner brush for this. And I'm gonna draw a cool graphic liner shape. So first I'm gonna go outwards from my outer corner, like a regular wing. And after we have created this wing, we're going from this upper crease and we're drawing a line towards there. And we're kind of gonna create a generic graphic liner shape. Like that, we have a fun graphic liner shape going on using eyeshadow. I'm going back into those shimmers that I used just so I can fill up those gaps a bit. So let's go into shade number 5 with a small brush and just go into this corner. And then going into shade 9, doing the same thing. And I'm gonna go back with that pencil brush, going into this shade 8 again, the matte light brown, and just dragging that underneath. You can also go into that beige a tiny bit for that inner corner. And then we're gonna go into the final shade, which is shade number 2, this white shimmer, and we're using that of course as an inner corner highlight. So that is the eyeshadow portion of this look done, so I'll quickly add everything that I want to add and then I'll get right back to you with the finished look. Okay, this is the finished look. I feel very pretty. I really love how this look turned out, even though I'm using neutrals, but I think it looks really cute. I love the eyeliner shape. I think the dark brown matte has like gained my trust a bit in this look instead of the look that I did in my full face video, because like it packed on really well, it applied really well, and it even blended really well into these parts. So it wasn't that much of a struggle this time. Maybe it was just a combination with those green shades that made it like work a bit less well, but like this I think it looks really nice. What I used to finish up this look, first of all I'm wearing the doe lashes in the style Crazy in Love. And then on the lips I'm wearing the Catrice Plumping Lip Liner in shade 10 Understated Chic. Together with the Maximore lipstick in the shade Cliché. My lips were looking a bit dry and crusty, so I also added the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fenty Glow, I think it is, on top. So let's quickly get onto look number 3 to try out the final few shades. My eyes are already primed, so I'm ready to get into the final look. And for this look, I'm going into these rosy shades over here, which is interesting because this shade, the shimmer, is actually deeper than the matte, which I find often to be freaking annoying because you can't really combine them very well. So I'm gonna combine them, but I'm also gonna do the shimmer in the outer corner because it's a deeper shade. I don't know, I thought that would be fun for once. So the look itself isn't that difficult, but I just thought it would be fun to just, you know, switch it up a tiny bit, you know. So I'm gonna go into that shade first, shade number 7, with a dense pencil brush again, see if that works. just getting some on there. And then I'm gonna stamp that into that outer corner. And I'm making it really round. And then I'm also moving that underneath the eye. I have no idea if this is gonna turn into anything. So if it turns out really ugly, I'm sorry. But we're just gonna play with this shade. And I like to pack on some extra using my fingers so it gets really pigmented. And then I'm gonna go into that matte, so shade number 1. And I'm gonna be blending that along that edge a tiny bit and then going more into the inner corner. Also going on top of the lid. I feel like the shimmer looks a lot deeper in the pan than it does on the eye. So I feel like it could very well be used together with that shade on like the center of the lid or something, because when you look at it like this you kind of don't notice where the base is of the shimmer and where the matte is. So I think like on the eyes they may work pretty well together. And then by now we have used all the shades, so I'm just gonna go into this shade, shade number 2, which is the inner corner highlight kind of shade. And I'm just dragging that on top of the lid a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. And then applying that into the inner corner. I'm just gonna drag that first shimmer, number 7. Just gonna drag that onto the lid some more. Just pretending that that was the goal all along. And this look is like extremely simple and I kind of don't love it. But I must say these shadows work great, especially that matte shade. That one blends like butter. It's really nice. I've used all the shades now. I'll just finish this up, add everything that I want to add, and then I'll talk a bit about my thoughts on the palette. Okay, I'm back with the finished look. This is just extremely simple and subtle. I feel like this shade would be the perfect like everyday makeup kind of shade for me. And I must say this matte is extremely buttery and soft and extremely easy to blend. So I feel like it would be a very nice everyday kind of eyeshadow for me. What I use to finish up the look, my lashes are doe lashes in the style Fairy Dust. On my lips I'm wearing a combination of things. First of all I'm wearing the Catrice Plumping Lip Liner in the shade Understated Chic. And then on the center of the lips I'm just wearing a tiny bit of the Max & More lipstick in the shade Peach Passion. And then I topped it with the Essence Shine 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 lip gloss in the shade One Behind the Scenes, which is the clear lip gloss. It's a lovely clear lip gloss. I absolutely love that one. And I feel like it just kind of mimics the same shade in total what we have going on over here. So let's talk a bit about this palette, shall we? The Essence Benvenuti Aroma palette, the Welcome to Rome palette. It has 12 shades. I have used 11 of them since I only have 11 of them and I'm missing one. This isn't gonna be like one of my most used palettes just because it's a neutral palette. As you may know, I don't really wear neutrals that often. I don't know how much I'll use this palette, but it is very cute. I think the shimmers are, for my taste, a bit boring. They are very pigmented, they feel very creamy, they apply very easily, but only shade number 6 is actually like sparkly and shimmery, and the rest is just more of like a sheen and not that visibly interesting to me, which is a bit too bad, but it's like perfect for simple everyday makeup if you don't want your eyes to sparkle all the way out there, you know? Let's see, the mattes are actually great. The only matte I'm a bit less impressed by is this one, the light blue one. It is very hard pressed. It took me a while to get that going and get it to move the way I want it to. So, not my favorite. But the rest of the mattes actually work very easily, very nicely. I wish I could have tried the orange matte just to see how that works. But if it's the same formula as like this matte, then it's a great formula, because I really like the formula of this one. This one blended so easily, applied really easily. Great formula. The dark green and the dark brown are the only deep shades in here, which is a bit too bad. They could have gone a bit deeper, so it's a bit more inclusive for multiple skin tones. I'm enjoying this palette. Like, I had a pretty good time playing with it. I like the looks that I got from it, but of course this isn't like getting my creative juices flowing, because I just love being creative with colorful makeup. So then a neutral palette just is never gonna be like the thing for me. I'm never gonna be as enthusiastic about a neutral palette as I am about colorful palettes, because that's my personal preference. But I can objectively say that for the price that you pay for this palette, this is a decent palette. But if you're into more sparkly shimmers, then this is not a palette for you. The mattes, great mattes, The shimmers are also great, they have pigment. The sparkle just isn't there. So it really is up to personal preference with this palette. If you're looking for like a basic starter palette with a pop of color, this is a great palette to get started with. So objectively, for the price, what did I say? It's €7. That's a decent price for something like this, I feel like. And if you are just starting out your collection and you want to add some nice neutral shades to it, this would be a great addition, I feel like. So that is my overall view of this palette. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. If you want to see even more from me, my blog and my socials and everything you need to know about me is linked down below, so you can check it out as well, including my gaming channel. And that's gonna be it for me today. I want to thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Toodles!